Welcome to Global Football Icons. If you're here for in-depth player analysis and love getting into the journey of football's greatest stars, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out. And let us know in the comments who you'd like us to explore next. Maybe a legend from the past or a rising star. Whoever you're interested in, we want to hear from you. Today, we're diving into the life and legacy of Gary Lineker. Now, if you're a fan of English football, this name will feel as familiar as fish and chips. Known for his sharp goal-scoring instincts and clean reputation both on and off the field, Lineker is one of those rare players who seems to stand a little above the rest, not just for his impressive stats, but for how he's carried himself throughout his career. But don't be fooled by the calm exterior. Behind Lineker's composed demeanor was a ferocious drive, an almost scientific approach to the art of scoring goals. From his early days in Leicester to becoming a celebrated England captain, Lineker's journey is as exciting as any top-tier match you can think of. Gary Lineker was born in Leicester in 1960, and right from the start, it seemed he had football in his veins. Growing up near Filbert Street, the original home of Leicester City, he could hear the roar of the crowd even from home. Lineker was a Leicester City fan through and through, and his early days were spent as any young fans would be, watching games, playing wherever he could, and dreaming of one day wearing that famous blue kit himself. But this wasn't just idle dreaming. Lineker was determined, spending hours refining his technique, sharpening his awareness, and learning what he would later describe as the instinct for where to be and when to strike. It's something that can't be taught, yet Lineker, as we'd later see, made it seem as though it could. He joined Leicester City's youth system and showed immediate promise. Even among a talented bunch, Lineker had that special quality, a kind of football IQ that made him a standout. He broke into Leicester City's first team in the late 70s, and it wasn't long before fans noticed that this young lad had a knack for goals. But he didn't have the towering height or physical strength we often associate with classic strikers. Instead, Lineker's game was built around timing, anticipation, and a razor-sharp eye for the tiniest gap in the defense. It was almost as though he had an invisible map of the field, where he knew precisely where to be, how to react, and how to get the job done. The 1982-83 season was his breakout. Lineker scored 26 goals and quickly became the talk of the league. With each season, his star rose higher. He wasn't flashy or arrogant. He just got the job done. And that unpretentious style endeared him to fans and teammates alike. This marked the beginning of his journey from a local hero to a national treasure. In 1985, he made the big move to Everton, a step up in competition. But if Lineker felt the pressure, he didn't show it. In his only season with the Toffees, he led the league in scoring, bagging 30 goals. Everton may not have won the league that year, but Lineker's goal-scoring record left an indelible mark. But even before his club career took him abroad, he had already etched his name into the annals of English football history. Lineker's exploits with the England national team were nothing short of legendary. If there's one event that fans will never forget, it's the 1986 World Cup. Playing alongside the likes of Peter Shilton and Brian Robson, Lineker was unstoppable. He netted 6 goals during the tournament, winning the Golden Boot and cementing his status as England's top striker. Who can forget that quarterfinal against Argentina, where his poacher's instincts kept England fighting till the end? Though overshadowed by Maradona's Hand of God, Lineker's performances earned him respect worldwide and admiration at home. After that stellar World Cup performance, he made a bold move to Barcelona, and this marked a new chapter for Lineker. The Spanish Giants don't just sign anyone. They want players who can bring something extra, and Lineker fit the bill. He adapted quickly to La Liga, with his scoring acumen translating seamlessly to the Spanish style. The 1986-87 season saw him score 21 goals, including a famous hat-trick against Real Madrid, winning him admiration from the fans and the nickname El Matador. Despite the language barrier and the cultural adjustments, Lineker thrived, showing the world that an Englishman could conquer Spain's top league. His stay in Barcelona wasn't without its challenges, especially with the managerial upheaval that marked that era. But through it all, Lineker remained committed, focusing on what he did best, finding the back of the net. Lineker's return to England in 1989 saw him sign with Tottenham Hotspur. In North London, he rekindled his goal-scoring brilliance, teaming up with players like Paul Gascoigne, he gave Spurs fans plenty to cheer about. In the 1989-90 season, he won the Golden Boot yet again, solidifying his reputation as one of England's finest. But it wasn't just his league performances. Lineker had another World Cup campaign to lead. The 1990 World Cup in Italy saw a mature Lineker who was now England's captain. His leadership on and off the pitch guided England to the semi-finals, a feat they hadn't achieved in decades. The image of Lineker, ever the consummate professional, giving it his all against West Germany in the semi-final, remains etched in the minds of fans. One aspect that sets Lineker apart is his clean record. Over his 16-year career, he was never shown a yellow or red card. It's a remarkable feat in a game that's often aggressive and unforgiving. This wasn't because Lineker shied away from challenges. He was simply that focused on the game and respectful of his opponents. This clean, sportsmanlike approach only deepened the public's admiration for him. He was, in many ways, the gentleman striker, always carrying himself with dignity and grace. Lineker eventually retired in 1994, closing the curtain on a career that included 330 goals in 568 appearances. But retirement wasn't the end of Lineker's story. If anything, it was the beginning of another chapter that's perhaps just as well known. Lineker made a smooth transition into broadcasting, where his wit, insight, and charm made him a natural. For years, he's been the face of Match of the Day, where he offers analysis, hosts discussions, and brings that same professionalism he showed as a player. He's become as much a part of English football's landscape as the players themselves. Yet even with his success off the field, Lineker has always kept a strong connection to the game's grassroots. He's involved in charity work, advocates for refugee rights, and frequently speaks out on issues that matter to him. This willingness to use his platform for good has kept him relevant and beloved by fans of all generations. Gary Lineker's story is one of skill, perseverance, and character. It's the story of a player who didn't rely on sheer athleticism or bravado, but instead approached the game with a calm, calculated confidence. And maybe that's what makes him such a compelling figure. In a sport that often celebrates flashy personalities and controversial figures, Lineker's appeal lies in his steady, unwavering commitment to doing things the right way. Whether scoring goals, representing his country, or sharing his insights on modern football, Lineker has always been a class act. And in today's football world, that's a quality worth celebrating. So, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the career of Gary Lineker, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to Global Football Icons for more profiles on football's greatest. And let us know in the comments, who's the next player you'd like to see us explore? We can't wait to hear from you.